and welcome to episode 25 of PauseCast. It is Friday, January the 20th, 2017. Wow, I totally just flubbed that date.
You got it right.
It's just the
I can understand why
pronunciation.
there might be a mental block for the date, given what else happens on this date in different parts of the world.
Yeah, well, it's not even that. It's just, I don't even know.
It'll take a while
feeling it.
before 2017 rolls off the tongue as well, I think.
Yeah, I think that might have been like the biggest mental block there. Just
It also totally explains
2017.
why you stopped on 20th and not 2017.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm trying to parse how I pronounce dates. Wow, this is great. This is some great hashtag content for our video game podcast.
This is just going to be the whole time, just talking about this.
Yeah, this is it. We talk about how we parse dates. Personally, I love how JavaScript does it. This is actually it's a show about video games, kind of, sort of. I'm Jessica Alouette, and I use she/her pronouns.
And I gotta get this in the right order. I'm Mark Hanna, and I use he/him, and I just woke up, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think we're both feeling like we just woke up.
I
don't
also
know.
literally had a nap earlier. It's not even 8 o'clock, and I've had a nap. I'm not
You're turning into a granddad.
No, I'm just like still recovering from being on holiday.
Right, gotcha.
You just sleep
So,
at any time.
turning
normally
into
the
a
wrong
granddad.
ones. Sure, let's say that.
You're getting old, Mark.
Well, I'm a granddad who plays video games, so I'm a cool granddad.
You're like the coolest granddad. So it's been a while since you've been on the show.
It has. I'm not dead.
You're not dead, no.
Nor undead, despite the rumors.
Okay. Though you did have some experiences with the undead on your holiday, did you not?
I may have killed a few zombies here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up Dying Light again, which I haven't played in a while, but had a bit of a hankering for it while I was away. So started the story again and played probably 8 hours or so over the weeks I was away. It's a good fun game. I've missed it, I think. I played through it, like a year and a half ago or something, maybe more. I don't remember when it came out, but I played through like the first half on my own, and then found out a couple of my friends from uni were playing it too, and we were about at the same point. So I did the second half of it in co-op.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and it's a really fun game. Like, I haven't really played zombie games before like that, but it's kind of almost a Mirror's Edge zombie killing game, because you do the whole thing in first person climbing and running around and jumping over things and rolling on the ground and stuff, which I really like. It feels really good, that sort of movement. And particularly at the start of the game, there's this really nice feeling of not being all powerful. Like, you know how some games, it's just like it's about having a power fantasy. Like if you're playing Halo or something, you can jump 15 feet and shoot a million aliens every minute. Whereas, at least at the start of Dying Light, it's like, okay, you've got a table leg. It'll take you like a minute to knock a zombie down by bashing it over the head with this table leg. Here's 15 zombies on the street. You probably don't want to go there. Which is a really cool feeling, compared with the late game where it's like, okay, I've got this sword that can cut off 5 zombies' heads at once. It's quite a different feeling.
Even in the late game, though, I still felt like I maintained that, like, I don't feel very powerful, but I am definitely, like, better off running like hell. And it turns out it's a good way to play that game, because it's just more fun to be constantly moving.
Yeah, they definitely added more challenges as you get later, bigger zombies and stuff like that. So you're not completely safe.
Can we talk about that tank zombie?
Is this the cop?
Yeah, the big-ass cop, like the giant one. It's the worst. I hate it.
You just don't like fighting it?
Yeah, it's actively bad. I do not, like, it is a boss fight, but bad, is how I would describe it.
Honestly, the thing that bugged me most about that one is how you only ever encounter them in arenas. Like it's a
Mm,
closed off area, it can't move very
no,
far.
you can encounter them in the wild.
I don't know because I also played a bit from my 100% story, like finish the story save, and
Yeah.
they're I'm pretty confident that they're all arenas. Like the closest, there might be ones where you don't have to climb over a wall, but the alleyway that you go through to get into it, these things can't fit through because they can't climb over anything. They're stuck in a relatively small area. You won't find them roaming along a rooftop or a really long road or anything like that. They're in like parking lots that they can't get out of and stuff like that.
Yeah, you won't find them on a rooftop, but I definitely found them outside of the arena context in that second map.
That's the second map that I've mostly encountered them in. I've never ever seen one outside an arena.
Really?
Yeah.
I definitely. That's definitely the experience I felt like I had.
Okay. Because I know normally
So,
when you encounter them, it's one of those random encounters that shows up on the map, and there's like two NPCs fighting it who will get
no,
slaughtered
I
pretty quickly. Is
just.
usually
I
how they
saw,
show up.
like. No, I saw just one of these big motherfuckers just there. It was just chilling. And I was very upset by this because I had to run very fast to get away. And it threw me off of my actual, like, desired path.
Well, I mean that's what
Was
having zombies is all about, right?
Well, yeah. It's a little bit about, like, being able to adapt or die. It's kind of its whole thing. Um Over the break I played like a bunch of like Left 4 Dead again.
Oh yeah.
Game's
So you
really
hit
good.
zombies as well.
Yeah, I had some zombies as well. Just a little bit more like I guess action focused.
Right.
Like Dying Light feels a little bit like it's action, but
It's got
it's
a lot
got
of
a
focus on
method
movement
to
as
it.
well.
Yeah, it's got a lot of method and
Yeah. I mean they've even got split experience where you get agility experience and power experience. I think it is to like as you're running and climbing and jumping over things, you get experience for the agility skill tree. And as you're
yeah.
hitting zombies and killing zombies, you get experience for the power skill tree, which is quite nice. So you can see like, oh, am I lagging behind? Should I run around more? Stuff like
I
that. But
haven't
it's
tried
quite
out
good.
the I haven't played Dying Light since the Legend system, and a whole bunch of stuff came out for the enhanced edition,
Yeah,
quote unquote.
there was a little bit of new content when I started up I hadn't known about. Like Legends, yeah, so once you finish the game there's a third skill tree, which is kind of like the Paragon levels I've talked about in Diablo, where you just um they give incremental modifiers like plus 2% damage with this weapon type or something. I managed to get one legendary level, and so of course I spent it on the times 15 melee damage with no weapon. So I'd go around punching zombies and actually be able to do something, which was kind of fun for a little bit.
Jesus.
But I mean, times 15 from the thing that is weaker than the table league you started with is still not very much.
No, but it feels impressive
It's
to just
satisfying
like
as
punch
it's
zombies
satisfying as
apart.
well. This game has got really solid impact feeling in its combat.
Yeah, that was like one of the things I noticed like first when I was playing
Yeah.
Dying Light. There was a lot of impact and weight to everything, unlike a certain other game which uses swords and you run around and hit orcs with it, and they just don't do anything. It doesn't sound like anything. I've bitched about this before, and I'm not going to do it again for much longer.
I think another thing that helps with
Uh,
that is you only get blunt weapons to start with. Once you get to a certain
mm,
point of the game, edged weapons get a lot more common, but they don't have the same stopping power. They get a lot stronger when you're near the end of the game and powerful enough that it's like, okay, yeah, you just cut that zombie's arms off. It can't really hurt you very much anymore. But
yeah.
yeah, the impact in this game is really nice, and you can do stuff like that when you jump and kick it with both feet and knock things off roofs. It's very fun.
Yeah. I also definitely want to take some time to shout out to some more games that I've been playing
Mm.
recently with some exceptional sound design in them. Battlefield 1. Oh my god.
So wait, I know I always ask this, but that's not the first Battlefield game, right?
It is not the first Battlefield
It's
game.
like the
It is
12th or something,
yeah, it's a Battlefield game which takes place in World War One.
right?
Hence the
Is it
name.
on the Xbox One?
It is on the Xbox
I
One.
feel sick.
Ugh.
Okay, sorry. Go on.
The Xbox One, which was also just
The
a
third Xbox.
non-increment.
Yeah.
It was a non-increment of a console, and this is a non-increment of a game. But there are. I've played the first kind of story mission in Battlefield 1
Mm-hmm.
and a bunch of the multiplayer already. Um, in an unusual move for me. But Battlefield 1's opening mission has surprised the hell out of me.
How's that?
Um, the game basically opens with like stark black on white text, which says what follows is frontline combat. You are not expected to survive. Um, and then you're placed in the middle of this big kind of operation, taking place kind of all around you. As you die, the name of your soldier pops up and the year in which he died. And then you switch perspectives to another soldier.
Like just in the same region?
Yeah, and then you fight a different section of that battle. And then you die.
Can
you switch to another soldier?
Can you not die?
It ends with it ends after like four of your guys have been killed.
So it's a scripted death rather than.
It is a scripted.
Okay.
No, it is not a scripted death. The switch events are all scripted, but the actual deaths are like random.
So can you just, if you're really, really good?
If you're really, really good, you could push up for like a grip. You could keep going for a while.
And it will just keep going until you lost, probably.
Basically.
Right.
It is a phenomenal opening kind of statement for the game, and it is also like it's got some really great sound design going on within it. All of the stuff in that game just sounds so good. And Dying Light also reminds me about like movement.
Mm-hmm.
That brings me to Titanfall 2. Hey EA, what's up with all your good shooters? Titanfall 2, also extremely good. Sounds great. I've been spending a lot of time running.
It's the giant robots one.
Yes, this is the giant robots one.
Right.
There is a mode called the Pilot's Gauntlet. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a time attack and score attack combination tutorial situation. If you've played Call of Duty 4, there's like the pop-up ship with all the like cardboard targets that pop up at you.
What did you call it? A pop-up ship?
Yeah, I realized how poorly I explained that. It's like a movie set kind of situation.
It's like all Jetboard,
like,
very quick construction just to have a layout, right?
Basically, yeah. And you run through this course on a timer.
Shoot the baddies and not the goodies.
Yep, and it sets your difficulty. And Titanfall 2 has a similar thing, except now with the advent of achievements, they have they've added in an achievement for getting into the top 3 times on the leaderboard that they have set up, which means running the entire gauntlet.
That's a local thing, not a multiplayer thing, right?
That is a local thing. It's entirely scripted.
So everyone can do it?
Yeah, everyone can do it.
Okay.
In theory.
As opposed to just 3 people can do it, I mean.
Oh, yeah, everyone can do it. In theory, because that gauntlet is pretty punishing, and to get in the top 3, you have to get through it in 33.6 seconds.
And how long does it normally take?
My first run took me about a minute.
Okay. So it's quite a trim down.
Yeah, it is quite a trim down. I've gotten down to 39 seconds, but it's taken me a couple hours to get there.
Okay.
I've played other parts of the game, though, and they're very good, and I can see why people talked about this game when it came out. It's good to see that they have come back from, I would say, the failures of Titanfall 1.
I never played Titanfall 1, but from what I remember hearing, everyone really liked it when it came out. But it
Nobody
didn't have a
stuck
single
with
it
it.
didn't have a single player, right? The single player was a
Yeah,
series of multiplayer matches.
that is exactly right. And nobody stuck to it. So
Oh, so
it
its
just
community
didn't
kind of
take.
died, did it?
Yep, pretty quickly too. It was
Ah.
dead within kind of the first month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really? That's very
Titanfall
quick.
Yeah, Titanfall did not have a long lifespan at all. Titanfall 2 is looking better considering it has a community a few months later. Um, it's it's got some interesting bits of that multiplayer that I'd actually like to see echoed in other games.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them is both teams have sets of AI players which drop in like constantly. They're obviously easier to take down than um, human players,
Mhm.
but they provide small score bonuses as well for taking them out.
Sorry, cannon fodder?
Yeah, they're cannon fodder.
Okay.
But I appreciate that they're there. It gives the battles a bit more of a sense of scale, even if the actual like multiplayer component is only 6 versus 6.
It can let
And you
every
can,
player have a nice kill to death ratio as well, instead of half of them feeling shitty.
yeah, it gives other players the ability to build up their score at the very least a little bit. Um, Arenas are big. Titans feel really good. Titanfall 2 is really good. It's a criminal crime that people are missing out on this. Um, I very much enjoy it. And that ends the section of this podcast where we fawn about video games for just like a grip. Or I do. I just fawn about video games for like a grip.
Is that a new
Uh,
phrase you've picked up? Because I don't think I've heard it before you were saying it tonight.
yeah. These McElroys have gotten my
I was
head.
gonna ask if it was a McElroyism.
Yeah, it is. But it is also like it's a defined term. Like a grip is actually defined as like a
It's
long
when you
time.
hold on to something,
But
the
also
thing you hold,
it's
you have a grip on it.
okay. Sure thing, Mark.
You can use it
We'll
like
go with
figuratively as well. Like you can get a grip on a subject. It means you have like a mental understanding of it.
that. I'm done with this snark from you, Mark.
I've been saving it up though.
Oh, good. I'm very excited. I can't wait for Snarky Mark to come at me. All right. What else do you want to do you want to hit any other games that you played over the holidays?
But Dying Light was definitely the one that I touched the most. I expected to play some Pokemon while I was away, but honestly, I didn't really play much. But when I got back, I did a night of like half an hour trading with my flatmate, and now I think he's one Pokemon away from completing all his island Pokedexes, which is he must have played it so much while I was away. It's impressive. Um, and my cousin has been sending me what feels like a text every other day saying, "Hey, now I have a shiny this or a shiny that." Like he texted me the other day, he's got a shiny Eevee, and it's like this is like his 15th shiny Pokemon. What the hell? So he's been like grinding for them. So the latest Pokemon games have got this thing where wild Pokemon can call for help. So there's one and another one comes in, and if you make one of them faint, so there's only one left, they can call for help again, and it can keep on coming so long as you don't beat both of them at once. And apparently, the ones that are called for help have a higher chance of being shiny. So shiny is it's an alternate color version of each Pokemon, and normally it's really rare. I think it's something like 1 in 4,000 just to encounter one randomly. But when they're called in, it's like 8 times that much or something. So he has had a Pokemon that has like a perfect moveset for it. It has a move that lets it recover health, a move that will damage but not take things below 1 hit point, so they can be captured easily. A third move which just deals a lot of damage for beating things that aren't shiny, and a fourth move which is the one that's really important, which is once if it's used immediately after the Pokemon consumes a berry, then the Pokemon will pick up another berry of the same type. So berries are items they can equip that they'll use automatically, and one of those berries will regenerate the PP, the power points, I think it is, for a move, which is basically the number of times you can use it before it runs out. So it also means that his Pokemon will never get too tired to fight. So he's just been sitting there after using, I think it's an adrenaline orb to make them call for help a lot more, for ages, knowing that the Pokemon is going to call the same Pokemon for help, so he can choose, I want this type of Pokemon shiny, and just spend like a long time, but still just grind it out until one arrives and then catch it.
I was about to say I don't understand people who have that kind of dedication for
I'm
this, like a component of a game. But then I remembered, I've been running the Pilot's Gauntlet in Titan. Oh wait, I'm that person now.
I'm pretty sure he multitasks when he does it. At least I hope he does, because it's probably very repetitive and doesn't require all his attention. But
yeah.
but he's also
Still,
now
it's a lot.
he now also has a shiny Rowlet, which is the grass starter from this generation, which you cannot encounter as a wild Pokemon, so he can't use this method. He had to breed one.
Wait, what?
He had to breed it. He bred a
Hang
shiny
on,
Rowlet.
no. I'm confused by the other bit, though. You can't encounter a Rowlet
No.
in the wild?
No, you've never been able to encounter starters in the wild. Except Pikachu from Yellow, because it's not a real starter. Starter Pokemon have only ever been able to be got at the start of a game, or via trade, or via breeding. That's like a special property of them. Yeah.
I did not know that at all.
Yeah. So if you need all three, you have to do some trading and then some breeding. Or no, you don't have to do breeding, but you have to at least trade to get an egg or one of them, and then you can breed it if you want. So I've got all three now, but I had to trade to get them. So I got a Rowlet from my flatmate because he got an egg, and then I got a Poplio through the global trading system and bred it. So I've got one that I am the original trainer of. But yeah, you can't get them in the wild, which means they're really hard to get shiny versions of. So he was breeding them, and apparently there's another method there where if you have if its parents are from different regions, there's a higher chance of it being shiny. But still, you just have to like hatch egg after egg after egg, and he got really lucky. It was his 30th egg or something, and there's like a 1 in many hundreds chance of getting it. So he got lucky. Excuse me. So he got really lucky on that. He has not yet, as far as I know, got a shiny legendary, and I hope he doesn't try, because the only way to do that is to like save before encountering it, because you can like walk up to them and encounter them in the game, and then encounter it, and if it's not shiny, do a soft reset, and then try again. I read an article like a year or two ago about someone who spent months doing that to get a shiny Mewtwo in one of the earlier games. Because it's the only way to legit get a shiny legendary Pokemon. Unless you can trade someone for it, but they had to do that thing or trade for it. That's the only way to originally get it. Whereas I have no shiny Pokemon at all.
To me,
sorry,
Pokemon is like another dimension to me at this point.
I caught the red Gyarados in Silver, which was a story thing. Doesn't really count. And then I have seen once ever one shiny Pokemon in the wild, which was a Pidgey I killed by mistake.
Oops.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing a shiny once as well.
Didn't know what it was?
Again, once. This would have been back. Yeah, it would have been back when I was playing on Emerald. I think was where I saw this shiny, and yeah.
They were introduced in the second generation in Silver and Gold, and they had the red Gyarados to introduce them as part of the story, so you'd know what they were. But I don't think any generation since then has actually told you what they are. So if one appears, I could totally understand if you were just like, what the hell is this? And not know it's like a special thing.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I just do not understand Pokemon. And I'm not sure if I ever will. I don't know. it's hard for me to get really, really invested into like bigger RPGs now.
I don't even know if I call it an RPG. Have you even collected something? Have you ever had a hobby of collecting like cards for a trading card game or coins or stamps or something like that?
Do video games in my Steam library count?
How about video game art books? You ever collected those?
Uh, I only have a couple.
Okay. But like,
So I did, however, I will say, I used to collect two things. The first was stamps,
oh
which
yeah,
is a pretty that's pretty normal. Uh, it's maybe dorky, but it's normal. And then the other one was hockey cards.
oh yeah. So is that
Because
like with sport characters on
my
them?
Canadian ass just
Sport characters. Jesus, I'm awful.
sport
Sorry,
characters.
I don't know what I'm saying.
I mean, that's basically what they are.
but
like you look at
they're real people.
well, if you look at like the WWE or something
okay.
like that,
Yeah,
like
sure.
those are sport characters.
Yeah. That's true. But hockey's real, right?
I can't actually legally disclose that. It goes against
Can neither
my
confirm nor deny.
yeah. As part of your Canadian citizenship, as part of like getting that, you or your parents, if you're born in Canada, you have to sign a contract which forbids you from revealing if hockey is a real sport or not. So, I cannot confirm.
I think you just told me it's not, so I'm going to believe that forever now.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway.
I mean, you can choose to twist my words, but they are recorded. Canadian courts, you cannot catch me.
High treason.
High treason.
I
have
the point I was
revealed
trying
that
to make
hockey
is
may not be real.
Pokemon is a game about collecting things. It's kind of the point I'm trying to make. At least that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But then there's also the battling aspect, which in order to collect the things, you have to do the battling aspect.
True. Do you know what the main purpose of battling has been in games up until this generation? Collecting badges. Still collecting.
I mean, that's fair.
yeah,
and
battling
everything
is-
you battle, like, even just a little bit, you don't even have to catch anything, but if you just see something in the world, it just goes into your Pokedex,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, not to the same extent, so you don't get like the information on it and stuff. But
No, but
it goes
it
to
is
the
there.
scene thing, absolutely. Yeah, and that's what it is, and that's why there's all this stuff about all these new Pokemon. You got to go see what they all are. It's quite cool. Figure out their secrets. You have to turn the 3DS upside down to evolve this one and all that stuff. Although honestly, you got to look it all up. So never mind, maybe. But yeah,
Hold up, is there actually a Pokemon that you have to put
Yes.
the 3DS upside down? Hey, video games, what?
Yep, no, there is. You have to put the 3DS upside down while you're in a battle. I don't remember exactly what Pokemon it is, but apparently its evolved form just kind of looks like it, but upside down.
What?
Okay, I'm going to Google this quickly. Upside down Pokemon.
That does...
NK. Yeah. Okay, that's it. And then... What's it into? Yeah. So NK evolved into Malamar, starting at level 30, when leveled up, while the Nintendo 3DS system is held upside down. And yeah, it's like it looks like the same thing, but upside down, and then kind of evil.
What?
I'll send you a link.
That's so specific.
Yes. I mean, like, there's others. There's a Pokemon that you have to evolve. You have to level it up in a certain region. There's another one you have to level up while there is another Pokemon in your party that is Dark type. There's a Pokemon that can evolve into 3 different things depending on if its defense is higher than its attack, or its attack is higher than its defense, or its attack and defense are equal. It can evolve into 3 different things when it levels up depending on that.
Oh, fuck off. It's the only Pokemon capable of learning a move called Topsy-Turvy. Fuck off, Pokemon.
Well, that makes perfect sense, right?
I mean, yeah, it does. But, Pokemon, why are you like this?
Because it's about collecting, like, that just fits into it, I reckon.
That's true. Like, that's true.
So yeah, so I wouldn't call it an RPG, because On the recent ones, yes, there's a little bit of character customization, but it's the Pokemon that really matter, and it's
And the
collecting them.
Pokemon are dependent on stats, and you gain stats through turn-based battles,
Yep.
similar to that of an
Okay.
RPG. It's weird. It's weird how I managed to classify it based on how it plays.
Except it's not really a RPG stands for role playing game rather than
Do
turn
you not
based,
play
stat
the
based.
role of a Pokemon trainer?
Yes, but like in every game you play a role. It doesn't make Titanfall a role playing game.
Well, well, every game is technically a role-playing game if you try hard and believe in yourself.
Exactly, which makes it a useless classification if it's used that way.
It's
Okay,
true.
actually, I take it back. Chessmaster 2000, which I'm guessing is the name of a video game that exists, is not a role playing game. I'm going to Google that. It better exist.
Chessmaster 2000. It does exist.
Yes! I knew it! Oh
It
wow,
was a
that looks
PC
amazing.
game released in 1986.
Of course it was.
There's also a Chessmaster. It appears to be a Chessmaster 3000 in addition to Chessmaster 2000.
Yeah, but that's not going to be released for another 983 years. So
Oh no, I'm sorry. There was also Chessmaster 9000.
was there? Are there any that are over 9,000?
No,
Oh,
there are not,
so
which is
close.
just a shame. Um, you have the Chessmaster released on the SNES. And then it goes up to 3,000, 4,000 Turbo. What? How do you play? No. Okay, I need to log off this Wikipedia page. And published by Ubisoft. What? Yeah, I need to get the fuck off this Wikipedia page before my mind explodes. What's going on?
I don't know.
Video games are so whack.
But I'm
The
I'm
same
so proud
publisher
that I
who
made
brings
up
us
the
like
name of the video
Assassin's
game
Creed
that
is publishing Chessmaster. What? Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now that that's out of the way.
So yes, I played a little Pokemon, but not as much as I expected. And then since I've got back, I've done some stuff with the latest Diablo 3 season, including their 20th anniversary content, which is like they've semi-remade Diablo 1 with Diablo 3 assets. It's actually it's quite cool. They've got like an filter that makes everything pixelated. The animations are changed to be more jagged. You can only move in 8 directions. Your characters walk instead of run, like they did in Diablo 1. And they've used Diablo 3 assets to rebuild like the dungeons and bosses from Diablo 1.
That's
I
actually
never played
super
Diablo
cool.
1, but it's really nicely done nonetheless. Like I can still recognize it. It's really cool. I didn't um, get a lot of the nostalgia just because I haven't played that original game. I played Diablo 2. But yeah, that was really neat to play. And now I've done I think a season with all of the existing classes. Although presumably the Necromancer class that they're making will be out with the next season, so I'll be able to try that when it comes out.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's super cool to me that they put the time in to like make this recreation of Diablo 1 also have a lot of the like mechanical minutia of Diablo 1.
I mean, it still plays exactly like Diablo 3, of course, but it
Yeah.
looks very retro. I read, I can't remember where, an article that had an interview with some of the developers who worked on it, and apparently it was first going to be just something like some Diablo 1 music, I think, in it, and then they
Okay.
ended up doing more and more, and then like they didn't have scope to redo the UI, but someone just like did it in their spare time. So it's got an old school Diablo 1 esque UI as well while you're playing it.
Thank you, Blizzard.
But yeah, so that was cool. So it took me a couple of nights of play to get up to max level with the Witch Doctor. And then next night I completed the 6-piece class set from this season. And then last night I was just playing with that class set for a while. And it like once you've got that far, unless you want to really challenge yourself and do like the harder seasonal challenges, which I probably won't bother with, it's just back into that mode of being a pinata where, okay, yeah, you can play it for the ping sound it makes when it drops a set or legendary item, but
Gotcha.
you don't have that sort of stairway of all the little challenges you can achieve to get like the set to play with, because that's the way the seasons work. Is you've got a set of challenges, and once you finish enough of them 3 times, you'll get an item that generates 2 pieces of a 6-piece set. And these sets are class specific, and when you have 2 pieces, and then again when you've got 4, and then again when you've got 6, they unlock very powerful abilities. So you can play on much higher difficulties, with bigger numbers popping up when you hit things, which is actually really satisfying. Diablo 3 has done very well at being satisfying. They've got a really nice ping noise when it drops like important items, shoots this little very nice coloured line up into the sky. It's very satisfying, even if it does become quite simplistic and repetitive at the end. You can kind of forget about it every time something important drops.
I mean, you've mentioned before on the show that you felt like Diablo 3 is a bit of like a digital pinata.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what it's about.
It's hard not to be satisfying when you're a pinata.
Yeah.
Like a well-designed pinata will have like a decent thwack when you give it a hit.
Yeah.
The sound design of pinatas is very important, and it also just puts loot everywhere. That's also important. If there's nothing good in your pinata, what's the point?
Yeah,
that analogy is very apt.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to ever stop using it.
I really just I like the term. Digital pinata has like a good feel to it, and it's a good descriptor too.
Yeah, it's hitting things until goodies drop out.
Woohoo!
I mean, I guess you can put a lot of games down to that, and Diablo 3 is just like boils it right down to the essence.
It's explicit. It's very explicitly that.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the only 3 games I've played over the past few weeks. They've each been fun. I thought I'd do more Pokemon, but I don't know, when you're at the beach, Pokemon's not... Actually, that said, I didn't use the beach all that much. I just read a lot. I think I read like 9 books.
Yeah, you like read on the porch, basically, hey?
On the couch where you can see the beach, pretty much, yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
It was really nice. So I got a bunch of I bought a bunch of books up. I got a bunch of books for Christmas, and I've read most of them now.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. I finished the 14-book series I've been I started the previous Christmas. It took me a year to read, which was really... I don't know if I want to say satisfying to finish. It felt right at the end. Like it had the right way to end. So that was really good.
All right. So, I am running a little bit low on things to talk about.
That's all good. You got anything you're looking forward to playing?
Over the course of the week, probably some more Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
And I might start on Battlefield 1 story, though. I should probably finish Titanfall 2's story before I try to do that.
It's got more of a single-player story than the other one, right? Which isn't saying much, I know, but
no,
it does.
I mean, the other one had nothing.
Yeah. Well, it had like something
had,
labeled
like,
single-player, sort of.
Yeah.
Or labeled campaign, sort of. It might have been.
There's an actual story in this. And, I mean, it was written by the same team who did Call of Duty 4, and I like that.
Okay.
I'm a few missions in. It's pretty good so far.
Cool.
The robot has some personality, and I dig it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Actually, they made the robot AI like speak to you, and you have conversations with it. They actually
nice.
Like they give you little conversation options as you go through the game,
like BioWare style dialogue options.
Nothing that complex. It's a choice between 2 options that you have, and you can just select one by choosing one of the D-pad buttons.
Yeah. Okay.
So it keeps the game's like very, very fast flow going,
Right.
and still allows it to have these like cool narrative bits, which I really appreciate that.
Nice.
Nice little design choice. Anyway, looking forward to playing that. I might get back into some Battleborn as well.
Yeah. I asked you just
Yeah,
before the show which one that is, but you're gonna have to remind me again. Sorry.
that is the Gearbox, or the maker of Borderlands. It's their kind of hero shooter, which ends up being, in its story mode, it's a bit more like Borderlands than anything else,
Okay.
but with a much wider cast.
Yeah, Borderlands has got what, 3, 4 characters you can pick from?
6. Borderlands 2 has 6 of them.
Oh, DLC
Pre-sequel's the
characters,
same.
right.
Yeah, DLC characters. So you start with 4, and then both Borderlands 2 and Borderlands pre-sequel added 2 additional classes. Now, this is
I
a
didn't
whole
know the
30.
pre-sequel did.
This is a whole 30.
Okay, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's a cast that's actually a little bit bigger than Overwatch.
Mm-hmm. Have they got a similar sort of diversity of cast as Overwatch has got?
Yeah, and they also have kind of a more interesting aspects to them. I kind of like Battleborn's character design a little bit more because they have made the design choice to not just have humans.
Doesn't Overwatch have robots and gorillas and stuff though?
Guess, but they're
I'm
a little
asking
bit they're
'cause I
a
haven't
little bit
played
more
Overwatch.
they're a little bit more tamely designed than some of the stuff that Battleborn can do, though.
Okay, so
Like
what
Battleborn has a bird, like a big anthro bird character, who is very like large and muscular, and he carries explosive weapons.
Okay, yeah,
And
that's quite out there.
it's very out there compared to Overwatch's character design, and I like that direction a lot.
Cool.
I also like how it contains all the like leveling up and stuff you do kind of on a per mission basis. It gives you the ability to explore a lot more of these characters. And it also gives each mission that you play a sense of progression.
That sounds like something that would turn me away from it, honestly. Having
Yeah,
your
and,
levels
I mean,
reset
that's
at the
fair.
beginning of every mission and having to worry about presumably making level up choices as you go through each mission.
Binary choices, yeah, it's left or right.
Yeah. I always fret when I've got choices to make. I much prefer when I don't have to worry about am I leveling up the wrong way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's something that gets me about Pokemon, where you've got these hidden values that can make your Pokemon, their stats increase more when you level them up. But if you don't know about them, you're missing out. So I much prefer games,
Before a little.
So I much prefer games where it's like, no, leveling up is completely non-destructive. You're not missing out on choice A by picking choice B, or getting your stats not as high as they could be, or something. You know,
Yeah, gotcha.
that's something that's really nice in Diablo, where you can respec any time. In Dying Light, where all the leveling up is just a skill tree, and eventually you'll just get to high enough level to have picked everything in all the skill trees and stuff. Whereas if I'm playing a game with a really complex leveling system, like Path of Exile, I will be constantly fretting, like, am I fucking this up? Am I fucking this up? Am I fucking this up? So I much prefer games where I don't have to fret about it.
I've definitely I've spoken on the value of gear-based level systems as well on the show before. Which again, I'll point to Monster Hunter as being like
Yeah, I
a
was just
good
thinking of
example.
Yeah.
Dark Souls also counts.
Doesn't Dark Souls have an experience system as well? I haven't played it in a long time, but I seem to remember that Souls were money and experience.
Welcome to Dark Souls, where the stats don't matter and the souls are made up. Souls are real, but they don't actually matter for your levels.
Okay.
They have kind of the most basic influence over what gear you can use, like to such a low degree that if you're seeking stat improvement, it's going to be a better choice for you to seek out a new weapon rather than to try and level up a bunch.
Okay.
At least that's my opinion of it. Other Dark Souls fans may disagree with me, and that's fine. That's their right. Do me a favor, though, Dark Souls fans. Don't at me. Thank you very much. All right. Mark?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to playing this week,
You know,
if anything?
I don't actually know. I feel like I'm done with this season of Diablo 3. If I get back to it, it'll just be so I can catch up on some podcast while hitting something. Because I find Diablo 3 is quite nice for that sort of multitasking. Normally I don't multitask while playing video games because I like narrative-driven games. I'll pay attention to them. Diablo 3 is mindless hitting things for me now. I've done the story, so I'll play a podcast over the background, which is really nice. But
For sure.
I don't know if I'll do that. I feel like I'm done with this season. So yeah, I don't actually know what I'll play this coming week. I don't know. Coming back from holiday, I'm not used to planning ahead. I don't know. We'll see what I feel like. I think XCOM 2 has just had a long war mod released.
It has.
Which I might try, although I also hear it's very... So I like the idea of lengthening the game, like slowing the progression and spreading it out, because they've added a couple more tiers and a whole lot more classes. So that could be fun. I just also seem to remember that the long war mod for the previous game was really, really, really hard, and I don't really like my video games really, really, really hard. So I'll see. I'll see about that. Mm-hmm. What about you?
We just talked about that.
We did. You're right.
So it's time to close things up, I reckon. Hi, if you like the show, please consider giving us a rating or review on iTunes. Every little rating and review that we can get helps us out a bunch, helps kind of expose us to a new audience, and we would very much appreciate it if you did that. We are back officially. I'm going to try and be better as kind of a New Year's resolution about getting episodes up at a regular time on a regular day. So expect that, and kind of an increase in quality over the course of the year as well. I'm going to probably look at new equipment at some point. We might look at Patreon at some point later this year to support us getting some better gear and stuff like that. We still have some giveaways running.
Oh yeah.
Which is... It is unfathomable. There are free video games waiting to be had, people.
And no one's asked. It's basically all you have to do.
Yeah, that's it. You have to ask. Well, actually, you have to tell me about your favorite dragon if you want to win yourself a copy of Dragon's Dogma: Dark Arisen. You just have to give us a moon fact.
Or just something you like about it. Doesn't even have to be true.
Yeah. You could you could just say the moon is made of cheese.
And I would give you Moon Hunters.
Yeah, you get a free video game for sending us an email which says the moon is made of cheese, which is a pretty whack thing to do.
Yeah, I'd prefer a different thing. But hey, if you do that and you're the first one, I will give it to you, absolutely.
There you go. And I've got another one. Another giveaway.
Please take these away from us before we just build up too many.
Yeah. XCOM 2. If you want a free copy of... If you want a copy of XCOM 2, because I have one, you can get yourself XCOM 2. All you have to do is tell me about your favorite fictional alien. It can be from a book, can be from a movie, can be from a video game. If you like the Asari a lot, hey, tell me about it. Just tell me a little bit about your favorite alien, and I will give you a copy of XCOM 2 for the PC.
I hope you get an email that is full-on conspiracy theory, lizard people, aliens living amongst us. I've got my fingers crossed right now.
Please.
Can David Icke email you?
Sorry, who?
Oh, he thinks the Queen's a lizard person.
I like like this guy.
Yeah.
I like this guy a lot.
He gave a talk in New Zealand last year that was something like 12 hours long, apparently.
What?
All about basically that. His very strange alien
Lizard man conspiracy.
They're like extra dimensional lizard people, shapeshifters.
Holy shit. This dude rules. 12 hours of that, huh?
I think it was something like 12 hours. I know someone who went along to listen.
Oh my. I think once again, I need to log off before I just explode. If you want to win any of that stuff that we talked about, you can just email us, pausecastshow@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on Twitter, we are at PauseCastShow. SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/PauseCastShow. Pocket Casts, pca.st/PauseCast. We have a Facebook group too. Mark, do you want to tell us about that?
I don't remember the URL.
Oh no!
Is it? Wait, can I guess? Because
yes,
if
try
it
and
follows
guess.
the trend, is it facebook.com/groups/PauseCastShow?
It is.
Wow,
you got
that was
it in
easy.
one.
I could guess it.
Yeah, you got it in one. Mark.
Yes.
As well. Where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, I know this one. I'm on Twitter at Honest
I would
Universe.
hope so.
Yeah. I'm on Twitter at Honest Universe, and I also blog, although not about video games, at honestuniverse.com. What about you?
You can find me online basically everywhere as Cockatiel Cutie. That is cutie the word, not QT the letters. I also started over the break. I have become one of the community managers for Feminist War Cult, which is a gaming group focused on providing a safer space for minority groups, as well as people who are allied with them to play video games. So if you want to join Feminist War Cult, I'll be around it. We have an application process. You can find it on our Twitter. It's at FemWarCult.
Cool.
All right. That is it for us.
Thanks for listening.
Week. Thank you so much for listening. And we will talk to you next week.
Bye.